Well, welcome to Future Ready Live, where we talk about topics that will help CPAs, CGMAs, and finance professionals all around the world prepare for change and transformation. I'm Barry. I'm standing in again for my dear colleague, Tom Hood. I'm Regional Vice President of the Americas region for AICPA and CIMA, and today's session is going to be a great one. With our flagship Future of Finance Summit around the corner in Denver in December, it's my pleasure to welcome two of our finest speakers, Jenny and Jasmine. Just say hello briefly, and then I'm going to introduce you with your stunning bios. Good morning, Jenny.
Hello. Thank you for having me, Barry. Good to be here.
And good midday, Jasmine.
Good morning or good afternoon, Barry. But yes, absolutely. Always a pleasure to work with you.
Oh, bless you both. So I want to introduce these guys. So Jenny is a leader in learning and development, committed to empowering positive cultures, developing leadership capacity, and inspiring others to be the best versions of themselves. We're both certified Gallup Strengths Coach. We do share some strengths like Relator and Maximizer. You know that already because we talked about it. You're leading a finance AI enablement journey at Kyndryl, and you might have to in a minute explain to the people who don't know Kyndryl who Kyndryl is. You built a global stretch program. You've implemented those Clifton strengths across the entire finance organization, and you're on an amazing amount of committees, including the enterprise chair of the women's ERG at Kyndryl, which I'd like to pick up on a bit later. Jasmine, what can I say about you? You're a transformation guru, amplifying a culture of innovation, leaning into digital disruption, and embracing ambiguity. Define a compelling vision for the businesses that you work for. And I know that you break down silos, you make the complex very, very simple, and you unite diverse perspectives and build long-lasting relationships among stakeholders, suppliers, and customers. You have worked for some fantastic companies and brands, and you're currently building a digital-first function at Legends Global, and you're an adjunct professor at Rutgers. So, gosh, yes, we have some amazing experience to talk about today. So my first question to you, Jenny, and then Jasmine, is you're both part of this Future of Finance group that I introduced a moment ago. So tell the audience about the Future of Finance group and the value. Well, Jenny, first of all, to you, the value for you and obviously for Kyndryl.
Yeah, great. Thanks, Barry. So first of all, Kyndryl, where I work, we are the world's largest IT infrastructure services company. So we are about 70,000 strong in about 62 countries. Very proud to work for Kyndryl and all we've accomplished and where we're headed. Lots of exciting things coming forward with our agentic AI initiatives. So it's a great place to work. So I'm excited to be here and be part of this Future of Finance group. So we started our relationship with AICPA and CIMA through our CGMA program. We had cohorts of individuals going through that program, and then we were invited to the Future of Finance group. And we, of course, pulled in two of our finest finance executives who are very engaged, and they'll also be joining us at the conference, so you'll get to meet them there. Being part of this Future of Finance Leadership Advisory Group has been invaluable for our finance organization. So it's given us a front row seat to the challenges and success stories of other people that we've met on the calls and at these summits. Hearing those success stories, it helps us benchmark where we stand as a finance organization within Kyndryl. And it's really a great collaborative environment where we can openly share our ideas. We learn from others. We gain those practical insights and fresh perspectives, which is fun. Actually, one of the outcomes from our last summit is we started a vision and value podcast. So we have our leadership, the two that I was talking about, Sue and Chris, who have hosted this vision and value podcast for our finance professionals. And that was something that was a result of attending that and something that was sparked in us while we attended the summit. So this two-way exchange has accelerated our learning. It's helped us refine our strategies and fostered a true culture of continuous improvement. And it just continues to be better and better. We love the network we're building and what we continue to learn.
Talking about network, you meet great people like Jasmine. We first met when you worked for a very, very big drinks company, global. But tell us a bit about your future of finance journey and the value to you.
So for me, I love coming together, and Barry, you and I have been working together for a while now. And for me, when I think about the future of finance and our time together in Denver, and specifically the session that I'm running on bringing data, technology, talent, all of the elements together, especially as the world becomes more agentic, not just AI anymore, right? And it's an opportunity to almost break down that jargon and say, look, time and time again, we hear quotes like 10% of transformation initiatives actually are successful, or the failure rate is between 70 to 90%. And I am a true believer that actually that there's no reason for it to have such a high failure rate. My personal experience is, if we actually step back and we look at it from an integrated approach and break out of our silos, that this is not a tech deployment, this is not a hype, this is about changing the way we think, act, and work. And that requires us to bring together an integrated approach of it's the tech, the data, the talent, the operating, the culture. It's all of the pieces, all of the things that bring the wiring together of how an organization or how a team functions. Only then can we actually have integrated solutions that enable and empower and uplift our people to think and act and do differently. And what I'm looking forward to is working with folks, and yes, taking them through my framework that I've developed, and I've proven and tested it in both big brands and PE-backed companies and mid-sized companies across diverse industries, and taking that framework and really taking some time to say, okay, how do we make it real in each of our organizations? And hopefully, anyone who attends the session that I'm running, is they'll go back before they start off 2026 with some clear action items of how do we either change that metric of that 70 to 90% failure rate, or how do I become part of the 1 to 30 success rate, and truly make agentic and AI real for their finance teams in 2026.
Totally. It's how we can be that one. How can we have that aspiration and inspiration? And I think what I love about the summit and the group is the fact that it's very actions based. And dear people like me kind of do hold you guys accountable. Not that you need any accountability at your organizations, but you're so inspired, I think, by the group with some of the things that you've done. You're actually both, as you say, Jasmine, are going to be speaking at this summit. So, Jenny, I want to learn a bit more, or the audience wants to learn a bit more about your session, award-winning leadership development program, Keys to Success. Now, you do have a partner in crime, Danielle, who will be presenting with you. So good morning, Danielle. Would you be kind enough just to give the audience a little bit of a snapshot preview of your session?
Sure. So we're planning for an engaging and interactive session. We're going to walk through those key steps to designing a high-impact leadership development program, from the initial concept of like, hey, we want to do something like this, to actually implementing it. We've built our Elevate program for finance for top talent from the ground up. So we're going to share practical insights, the lessons that we've learned along the way, and strategies from our own journey in creating this world-class program. And it resonates with leaders at all levels. You could really take this framework that we've built and use it at any level. So attendees will explore the foundational elements of a successful leadership initiative. They're going to participate in an immersive experience. So we're going to give them a flavor of what it would be like to be a participant in our Elevate program. So we encourage you to join us. We're really excited. We just finalized some of our talking points and that immersive experience yesterday. So whether you're just starting to build out a program or looking to enhance an existing one, I think that all of our attendees will leave being inspired, like you talked about before, and then have some tools in their toolbox to pull out and build something really great for the people in their industry.
You do remind me that this is not an event to go to if you just want to sit back and listen and look at a bunch of slides. You need to roll your sleeves up and work. And we have this amazing way of being able to connect people with different organizations and things. It is, Jasmine, very, very immersive. And you've also, you also will be speaking, as you said. Do you want to say a little bit more about your roadmaps session, the full value of strategic plan and the roadmap for data and talent investments?
No, absolutely. So like the way I've actually structured the session on digitalizing our finance functions, finance of the future, and how do we unpack and actually realize value from both AI and agentic innovations. What I will be doing is I'm looking to take everyone through, to start off with the framework that I've developed, and I have tested this successfully. Proud to say that this framework and this model effectively in every organization that I've been to, it has actually been part of the 10 to 30% of the successful transformations, but really sharing that with the group and not just taking people through the framework, but then also running it as a interactive working session where we can break apart those frameworks and actually start looking at what are the problems that each of us are facing, and how do we apply, and what actions can we take through a case study immersion session of, how do we take elements of this framework that would be the most impactful for us and probably the biggest gap in our own organizations when we go back, and what can we do different as we go into 2026? What are the, and I share with everyone, it's like, look, I'm a big believer of keeping things less than 3 or less. What are the 3 things that we can do differently as when we go back to our organizations to unpack digital, and not concede to the fact that it's a hype, or we'll go through this because we're being pressured to do it, and we'll see what happens.
Well, there is a lot of that going around at the moment, and I think we as finance leaders are the voice of reason, but the voice of empowerment. No longer are we CFO knows, we're CFO. Well, I was going to say KNNOW, Jasmine, but actually I want to say CFO go, go, go. I got that from you. But we do have a dear mutual friend, Wasia. I hope you're watching this, Wasia. And Jenny, is part of the bio that I read for you. You're on the Women's ERG there at Kyndryl, and I know that you're both huge supporters of women in leadership, and we're running a Women in Finance workshop at the summit. So, Jenny, first of all, tell me why this is important to you and what you're looking most forward to in that workshop.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for offering this type of session. We've come a long way in this space, and I think there's still work to be done. And that's why I am and have raised my hand to be the Enterprise Women's Kyndryl Inclusion Network, the ERG chair. And I'm also a Women in Finance Global Program Manager, as is Danielle. So I'm especially excited for her session. We know that she's known for her powerful storytelling. That's going to hook us all, I think. And her ability to connect personal experience, which she's had a lot of, and with that actionable leadership advice. So I expect her to talk candidly about overcoming those challenges, which is going to resonate with all of us there, whether we're male or female, right?
Oh, you bet.
I'm looking forward to hearing her strategies for her career growth, leadership development, and how to build that network of support. And this is something, it's sort of killing 2 birds with 1 stone, right? I'm here on behalf of the finance organization and have that finance lens, but I also, being the chair of our women's ERG, I'm hoping to take back things for both, right? And I strive to foster the things that she's talking about in her session in the programs that we offer supporting women at Kyndryl.
Oh, that's awesome. And Jasmine, I know that we've had a history of talking about this type of stuff, haven't we?
Yes. And Wasia is a dear friend of mine, and we're always exchanging ideas because diversity and inclusion is very near and dear to both of us on many levels. But I think why is it important? And really happy, and it's a pleasure to see that, Barry, you're actually investing in this session. Because one, as a woman, and not only just a woman, but a woman of color as well, it's really important that we are not only elevating ourselves and helping each other grow and lift each other up, but also we have a responsibility for the future of talent, both men and women, to start to see things differently. With women, it's like, okay, how do we make the journey a little bit easier for you? Are you leveraging some of our personal stories? And then parallel to that, the other half of the population, largely speaking, is giving them an inside peek of what's perceived biases or the perceived perceptions or some of the challenges, and what role they can also play to build a more diverse and inclusive leadership, particularly in finance. And especially as we think about the world becoming more and more agentic, even last night I was speaking to some folks and they're like, oh, what do you think about the future of talent in the future? I was like, look, as the world becomes more agentic, there is an organic push that we as a finance function need to also be not just technical, but also creative and innovative. And that can only come through and be real when we have a much more diverse leadership. And diverse leadership can only happen when you have diverse thoughts, diverse perspectives with both genders involved, because both coming together is going to elevate and give us a broader spectrum of innovation.
Oh God, it's awesome. It's awesome. I'd like to say to finance leaders out there that it's not too late to express an interest. Just DM me on LinkedIn if you're interested in learning more about the summit. It's December the 10th to December the 12th. It's in Denver, Colorado. But in the spirit of actions, Jasmine and Jenny, why don't you think about 1, 2, or 3 things that you think the audience should be mindful of for this summit, given the fact we can only handle 3 things at once, Jasmine. So I'll go to you first.
Okay. So first, I think one, we need to remind ourselves, but especially as finance, it sounds like we're always going from 1 month end to 1 quarter end to the year end, but we have a fiduciary responsibility to making time out of our busy, hectic calendars to get out of our offices, to share, learn, and embrace new perspectives. Only then can we actually start building a culture of innovation in finance and unpack greater value and impact in our functions. So I think it's our job to do that. Secondly, I would assume by December, many organizations have finalized their 2025 budgets. But that does not mean execution has started for 2026, right? So we are actually now, many of us, migrating into, how do we actually execute? We know we put a plug in to invest X dollars, and we think we're going to do this, but let's actually use this time to flush out, how would I innovate in 2026 when we go back? So I think the timing could not be more optimal. And third, I think the value of using these forums to build connections with folks that you normally would not have. And building connections, especially as we grow in our professions and grow as leaders, is instrumental in our own change and transformation journey.
That's awesome, awesome, awesome. Jenny, those top 3.
Yeah, I don't know if I can, but they overlap, right? So I think there's something here. So as we look forward to this summit and the coming year, I'm thinking about a couple priorities. When as finance leaders, how do we stay ahead of the curve and be ready for the future of finance? One, I think you've heard this common theme in this interview, is we need to embrace AI as a partner, not just as another tool. It's not just like Jasmine said, the next hype or the buzzword, right? That landscape of finance is changing rapidly. And artificial intelligence is at the heart of this transformation. And to thrive, we need to continuously upskill ourselves and our teams, equip and enable them. And we need to build trust in these digital colleagues and leverage AI to focus on those higher value work items that move the business forward. And then I think secondly, again, echoing what Jasmine already alluded to, is being intentional about that collaboration and value creation, whether it's your network at events such as this Future of Finance Summit, but also within your own company. Finance doesn't operate in a vacuum. Collaboration across the business is essential for driving innovation, sharing that knowledge, and delivering strategic value. So that means we need to, as finance professionals, move beyond compliance and reporting and start to become those strategic advisors. We can be empowered to challenge the status quo, understand your business drivers, and help shape the future of the direction of the organization. So I think it's a pivotal point for finance. It's really exciting times where that role is changing a little bit. And it's important that we are instilling in our people and inspiring them to be proactive, adaptable, and committed to that continuous learning and collaboration for growth.
Oh, totally. I couldn't agree more. Listen, Jenny and Jasmine, thank you for giving your initial thoughts today. We very much look forward to seeing you both next month. As I say, if you're a finance leader, if you're passionate about your people, passionate about finance, creating more value, reach out to me. We can find a way to get you to Denver. You can follow Jasmine and Jenny, obviously, on LinkedIn. You can find me on LinkedIn in Future Ready Live. Before we go and I round out this interview, I just want to say thank you for the community of folks internally here, AICPA, CIMA, that have put this summit on. It just doesn't happen. So to Kelly and to all of the team involved in that, thank you very much for the quality of the work that you put in. So thank you for joining me. Don't miss our other Future Ready Live sessions. They're the first and third Tuesdays, 12 Eastern of every month. So with that, have a good day and take care.
Thank you, Barry.
Thank you, Barry.